This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
When Benton Mackay climbed Stratton Mountain in southern Vermont in 1900, on the trip that would inspire him to propose an Appalachian Trail, the landscape that surrounded him looked much different from the one hikers encounter today. Where we see a thriving ski resort and a lavish condominium development on the north side of the mountain, Mackay saw a devastated rural community attempting to eke out an existence from subsistence agriculture and logging. Since the 1780s, European settlers had transformed old-growth forests into a scarred and eroded landscape as they struggled to turn the hills of central Vermont into an agricultural Eden. In the 1880s, new pressures were placed on the region's forests when several small lumber mills opened to provide jobs to a struggling population of farmers in the Stratton area. The success of these local mills was short-lived, however, as wealthy out-of-state lumbermen bought up land and put the smaller operations out of business. The new lumber barons ramped up production and set up camps for migratory workers. By 1920, a year before Mackay proposed his plan for an Appalachian Trail, over a third of the people living in Stratton were migrant lumbermen, and the area's economic future looked uncertain. The story of Stratton was not unlike that of many other communities throughout the Appalachian Mountains. In both northern and southern ranges, thin soil, relatively steep slopes, and inaccessible markets limited European settlers' attempts at farming and ranching. Furthermore, the cut-and-get-out forest practices of large timber barons left both land and rural populations literally uprooted. By the turn of the 19th century, many rural people left for greener pastures out west, or for industrialized urban areas, where they faced new problems associated with public health, unemployment, and worker safety. For Mackay, the problems of the city and of the countryside were inseparable. When he came to Stratton for adventure and recreation in 1900, climbing a tree on the top of the mountain for a better perspective on the landscapes below, he began to envision a project to not only preserve scenic vistas and natural resources along the spine of the Appalachian Mountains, but also to protect the people who lived and worked in the surrounding areas and in distant cities. At the heart of Mackay's proposal for an Appalachian Trail was the desire to solve the problem of living, which, in his view, was an economic one. He wrote, "Living has been considerably complicated of late in various ways, by war, by questions of personal liberty, and by menaces of one kind or another. These menaces included unemployment, class antagonisms, the degradation of natural resources, and a kind of spiritual malaise that came from being disconnected from nature. Mackay had begun to witness mental health problems spreading among his urban friends and family, most devastatingly exemplified by his wife's suicide in 1921. By putting people's spare time to productive use through voluntary service in the out-of-doors, Mackay believed that the Appalachian Trail project would help ameliorate the angst of modern life.